we don't have time for the full podcast, but Sebastian Stan's here for just a little amuse bouche. A little, I needed to give a little love to this crazy fucked up movie that you did, man. This is a special one.
Oh, right. I
So
remember if that's we had. I guess we talked about another thing last time I saw you.
it was Pam and Tommy. Yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, which obviously continues as well. But this one, man, this caught me off guard, and I think I'm debating like, what should people know going into Fresh? I mean, you're the star along with Daisy. What do they need to know?
I think the less is better. I think because it sort of is a movie that plays on expectation and projection and kind of the misconception that we often make about people and what we think, how we think things will turn out, and then they don't. So
to say the least, yeah.
Yeah.
Are you a good judge of character right off the bat? Can you read somebody, be like, oh, this is a good person, or there's something?
I think, yeah. I mean, there's certain things that I feel really right. I mean,
red flags.
That kind of we know off the bat, but the subtler cues I think are difficult. I mean, I'm sure there's always, you notice with yourself, like everybody, we sort of have these patterns sometimes of certain energies or certain people that you attract, and then you kind of have to kind of peel back and figure out why. But I guess with age, I've gotten a little bit better at that,
Well, and I bet you can apply that. I'm just thinking about this off the top of my head, like to this kind of thing of talking to journalists and talking to reporters. It's like you probably have a nose by now for the ones that are like, oh, they're going to corner me. They have an angle here, and there's a little bit of a.
I don't know. I don't know that.
Really?
That I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure anymore with journalists. I think I always just kind of try and keep an open mind there, but I definitely feel that even sometimes it's like people will walk up to me now randomly and just start talking because they'll be like, oh, we should talk. And I'll be like, this is nice, but why should we talk? I mean, because I guess I'm the guy, I was that guy in the thing, and but it's interesting because we all have a way to sort of, you learn you learn this in high school when you're a kid, right? You learn kind of the things that work for you or that don't, if even with teachers or authority figures or other friends, to be cool or to be accepted or whatever, you sort of pick up certain things that you feel are, if you put them forward, are going to make you more approachable, more acceptable or whatever. And so we all have those character things that we do that maybe are not really intrinsically
right
truthful to who we really are, or how we really behave when we're finally with someone for a longer period of time. But this movie is very much based on kind of that initial intense connection that you might have with somebody, which can feel honest in the moment, but then as more time goes by, you wonder how compatible you really are.
Yeah. If there's a message here, it's never trust the super charming guy in the grocery store. There's
exactly. Look around. I mean, they meet in the vegetable section, which one would think is a safe place to meet. It's not sort of, in the medical aisle or any other. But still, vegetables still a problem.
Now we know. So yeah, we're dancing around it, and I'm going to continue to, because I like I said, I think the best way, at least from my perspective going in, is to know as little as possible. But Daisy Edgar Jones is on the dating scene. She meets the dashing Sebastian Stan in the grocery aisle, in the vegetable aisle. Things are not necessarily what they seem, and it takes some really amazing turns for her, your character. And I mean, I'm a sucker. Drive My Car did this too recently, where they dropped the credits like 30 minutes into the film. I'm like,
yeah, that was definitely credit there goes to our director, Mimi Cave, who I thought had figured that out so brilliantly in kind of with the movie. Just, I think with her editor halfway through, they just were like, this might be a really fun way to kind of pull the rug from underneath people. So, and it's effective. Yeah.
When it works, when a filmmaker knows how to do it in the right way, it's so great. Like, I mean, when you think back, I know you're obviously a movie buff like myself. Like, are there some like big twist moments in film history that jump out at you that like knocked your socks off, that blew your mind, whether it's a twist ending, whether it's, old school Psycho killing Janet Leigh,
Um,
like what are the kind of like moments in film that stick out for you?
I'm trying to think. I mean, right off the top of my head right now, I don't know why my mind just went to Sliding Doors. Remember that movie?
Yeah.
That's kind of an interesting movie because you think how those little coincidences, or are they coincidences, sort of can throw your life in one way or not. I have to think about that. I mean, I guess there were a lot of thrillers growing up that I like Silence of the Lambs. I mean, Fatal Attraction. There was some in the 90s, right? There were some of those thriller movies that had sort of themes like that we're exploring.
Yeah. This one, I mean, we were talking about this when we were talking about Pam and Tommy. These two projects, they don't share much in common, except I would say they're both big swings for you, and they're audacious, kind of like, if you're going to do it, you have to like commit 150%. Do they? I mean, when you look back at the most satisfying acting experiences for you, is there like a correlation between like really putting yourself out on a limb, like kind of like chasing the fear, and satisfaction as an actor?
Yeah, absolutely. Because I don't really quite know if satisfaction as an actor is ever really achievable. I
Yeah.
really don't. I keep thinking that it's going to get to this place where you feel fully satisfied, but I actually think that's a good thing. I would be more scared of getting to a weird satisfied place, because then I feel like you'd get comfortable and sort of complacent or something. But I do enjoy things that feel very raw, or they feel sort of that they're scary in a way. It's usually a good barometer for me to kind of, in terms of maybe deciding to commit to something, especially something that I don't know enough about, or I feel feels very, very alien or foreign to me. Then then there's a challenge there, and sort of it piques the curiosity, and you want to go and explore and learn, and sort of it's kind of, that's what it is. It should be always some kind of learning. It's crazy because I was not like the greatest student in high school. I didn't really particularly enjoy kind of going home and like studying or learning something. But now I'm much more curious to kind of want to go. It helps when you want to learn things. You want to learn about people or things or circumstances,
Let's dip in our toe into the other side of your life that is always there, the Marvel side. I'm just curious, as an actor, do you have a handle on, like, there's so much out there. Even as a fan, I have trouble now keeping up with everything and understanding the multiverse and what's happening and who's where and what's what. Like, I'm just curious, for you, do you feel like you have a handle on the MCU right now, on what's happening?
I certainly do need to do some catching up myself. I know I'm a little behind on a couple things, but I'm so always amazed and in awe of just the massive universe of it all that sort of they were able to build, that Kevin kind of came up with, and because it does span over 10, 12, 15 years, so it's a lot of years that went into the making, and so I always get a little nostalgic about that. But I think it's an evolving thing, and I think you do have to keep up to date with it. But then I also feel like they do such a great job immediately filling you in, even if you've sort of missed out something. But it doesn't sound like people are missing out. I mean, people are staying pretty connected to it. So
have you ever done scenes where you
I always have to catch up on Tom Hiddleston because I know he's always out there taking swings himself.
Of course. Have you ever done a scene where you don't even understand like what you're saying? Like, you don't understand the context of the words, and you're just like, someone on set just has to be like, Sebastian, I just need you to say, I need you to grab the amulet from this place. And trust me, it will make sense later.
No, I can't. I have to understand what I'm doing, which is why the Avengers and Endgame was really kind of tough when we were shooting it, when we started shooting it, because a lot of us didn't read the scripts. I think there were only a few people that had read them, and I was like, fuck, I can't, I just have to. I mean, granted, it was the Russos and there were a lot of trusting people, but there was I need to know what's going on so I can kind of
Yeah. When the Marvel tenure is officially done, is that going to be? I would imagine it's going to be a mixed bag because you have this kind of security blanket now, where like like every 6 months, a year, 18 months, you're going to go back to something that has this like insane fan base that will always be there for you. At the same time, you want to flex these other muscles. Like there must be a bit of a yin and the yang of like where you're at now with Marvel. Give me a sense of like what you're feeling about that place in your life right now.
I'm it really is a day at a time, and I this is not a job that I ever felt there, there's a security blanket, because it just every time it's sort of, you're lucky to kind of get another round at it, another kind of swing at it, whatever the job may be, because it's so difficult to make, I feel like, projects that even people respond to or that they see, because there's a lot going on out there. You could work on something that's unbelievable, you put your heart into it, then nobody sees it, and it's heartbreaking, and it's in another way. But then, of course, if you're lucky to be part of something that people respond to, there's a very gratifying feeling. But it's not, because so much of it is out of my control. All I can really control is sort of what's 10 feet in front of me. And kind of that's how I focus. I just sort of focus on what's going on now and hope for the best.
Have I lost you from New York? Have you moved? What's home base for you now, buddy?
No. I can't ever leave New York.
Okay, good.
That's not happening.
Good. Okay.
I see a little sun out there, so the spring is coming.
Come back, buddy. It's beautiful here.
It's time. I'll be ready for spring and summer. Absolutely.
And what's in the can beyond Fresh right now? Did you do the film with Brady Corbet?
No, I mean, that one we're still trying to mount off. There's a couple projects like that I've been really passionate about that sort of still have to find their home and their financing. I'm just really excited for people going back to the movies.
Yeah.
Obviously, Batman this weekend. I really want to see that. I mean, again, Spider-Man, people went to see that. People are going to the movies again. So I'm hopeful that we can continue to do that, because I think it's been a tricky time for a lot of projects to sort of find a home and find out whether they're going to go that theater route or go on the streamers, because our business has changed and stuff. I mean, I think with Fresh, we're very lucky in a way. I know Mimi and Pavel, our DP, sort of shot the hell out of it. I mean, There is an experience of this movie on a big screen, because we saw test audiences go into the theater and see this film, and there's that communal kind of response that selfishly I'm a little sad we might not get, but I'm excited for people to still see it in any way, shape, or form. So but we can't lose the movie. We can't lose the movie theater. We need to kind of, there's something about going there and sitting there in the dark for 2.5 hours, or in some cases 3, where where you're just not looking at your phone, and you're with friends, and it's this thing of just kind of like, are you seeing this?
No, as you can imagine, you're preaching to the converted, buddy. Last thing for you, I'm doing a special event soon with Samuel L. Jackson soon. I'm curious. You've worked with Sam a bunch, obviously in the Marvel films, but also in another film. What's it like to hold the screen, to hold a scene with Sam Jackson, who, from my experience, man, he's an intense dude. He does not suffer fools. What's it like working on set with Sam Jackson? How do you keep up with that man?
I think it's obviously you got to bring your A game. I mean, he's going to be there on time. He's going to know all his lines. He's going to know your lines, and you got to be there in the moment with him. Because if not, you'll get lost and you'll get left behind. But at the same time, I feel that he has fun, and I think he enjoys the movies, and I think and he loves going to see the movies after. He actually sits. I remember he saw all the Winter Soldier movies and the Avengers and stuff. He's seen it every time he sits through, and there's something really kind of amazing about that. So he enjoys it, and I think he loves it, and he loves working. But but so as long as you kind of keep some fun and keep an open mind there, I think it's a very gratifying experience. But I don't. Yeah, he's done so many great movies. It's just crazy when you look back.
A legend.
Oh, this is a cool thing. You're doing this thing one-on-one with him.
Yeah, we're doing some live events here in New York at the 92nd Street Y for a podcast. So next time you're in town, buddy, let's make it happen.
I love the 92nd Y.
And the energy of a live audience. It's nice to talk to you in a Zoom box, but sometimes a big crowd. It's fun to feed off of that.
That would be great if you do something there. Of course, that'd be great.
Amazing. Thanks for the time as always, buddy. You're on a great run, man. All these really cool, weird, fun projects. Everybody should check out Fresh. It's on Hulu. I think it is getting a bit of a theatrical also from Fox Searchlight. Check it out however you can, and I'll see you on the next one, buddy.
I really appreciate it, man. Yeah, I hope it's not too long, but hopefully in person.
Definitely.
I'll see you on the New York streets.
All right, have a good one, bud. Thank you.